In this video, I'd like to discuss my thoughts on the recent legal issues with the National Firearms Act and some of my suspicions about it, and that what information I did find, which there is little and it's very confusing. Okay, but before we get into it, if you would please subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, and if you could, become a member and help support the channel. Alright, so we all know the big news that the legal battle or whatever that said that the National Firearms Act thing about registering silencers and short barrel rifles was declared unconstitutional, and that was not appealed. And I think that it happened last week sometime, and everybody that had a gun channel has made a video about it. Okay, I was talking about it. But looking at where we are now after this has happened, there's a lot of confusion. And the thing is, I'm going to be making videos talking about other things like retiring, Social Security, Medicaid, the economy, and the war, and all of these things. It's very confusing, and what it is we're in an age of disinformation. You know, the ongoing war alone, and the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, you can't get a straight answer one way or the other. Okay? And with a lot of things. You know, but it is. And now we're coming to where, again, with the government, we have this legal proceeding, and supposedly these laws and the fact that you have to register these items with the federal government have been declared unconstitutional. Thereby, I guess the law no longer, that's the thing. Doesn't mean that this, law doesn't apply anymore. And nobody can get a straight answer. There's all kinds of confusion. And I've watched several videos about it, and people all explain the same thing. That some states, if there's not a prerequisite in the law of possessing said items, but you have to have them registered with the government. That's like in my state, that's what it is. It's legal for you to own it as long as you have filled out the proper federal paperwork and are approved. Well, that doesn't, if the law is removed or this, the paperwork thing is no longer valid or there, a lot of these states, and there's 27 of them, that the law is written like that, unless the law is clarified or rewritten in a legal sense, I can't get a silencer, because if I don't file a Form 1 or Form 4 and get it approved, that's how the law works. Without that document, I can't possess it. I can possess it as long as I have an approved Form 1 or Form 4. Okay? See, so it creates this bizarre legal situation. And when you look at the news, whether it's real or not, but it's like and even locally, there's been a lot of incidents of gun violence in the major cities here in this state. Every weekend, somebody's getting in an argument, a fight, shooting. Just this last weekend, there was a shooting up at one of the colleges in Virginia when students were moving into the dorms. Every weekend and several times, there's some sort of gun violence being advertised. And generally, when this is done, they won't lighten up on the gun laws, in other words. So it's very suspicious to me with all the negative information, and usually all the gun control people start going berserk, that they're lightening up, or getting rid of that section of the National Firearms Act. Now, I don't think the ATF has clearly said anything. Some of the people said they tried checking in with them and seeing what they're advising federal firearms licensees, gun dealers, gun shops, what to do, what's legal. And one place said last week, he made the video, that when they contacted him, or again, this is somebody who's heard something from somebody, and when they contacted the ATF, they said, as far as we're concerned, nothing has changed. There is, nothing to advise you at this time. So to me, it sounds like with this confusion, and you really don't know what you're doing, and there's no said source, with all those things with the definitions being changed of what's a dealer, what's not a dealer, and like I said, people were arrested because of these modifications or change of definitions and that. I believe the government's tricking us, and it could be a trap. Okay, so be careful with whatever you do. And if you think they eliminated Form 1s and you can just go and make your own or change your own stuff around to be on these restricted items, be it a suppressor or short barrel rifle, I'd be careful. Okay, because I got a bad feeling about this, that this is just going to turn into a legal quagmire. And you don't want to be the guy that gets caught up or burned. Because no matter whether you're breaking the law or it's a misinterpretation of the law, once they get you, you got to hire lawyers, and it's money. It's a ton of money just to defend yourself, even though it's a BS charge or you really kind of haven't broken the law. Okay? Or you really don't know if you are breaking the law or not. Okay? There's no finite definitions this soon in the game. And he explains that. And I think they do it because I'm going to do a video on retiring, Social Security, and on Medicare. Okay? That is the most crooked situation, and it's mandatory. When you turn 65, you got to do something with Social Security, whether you're working, whether you retire, whatever, but you must do it when you're 65, or if you don't, or you skip over, you will be fined, penalized monetarily out of your Social Security payments for not complying or not filling out the forms. It's something like that, but I'll go into that in the video. But it goes to show you this government is set up to trip you up, to rip you off, and to confuse you to the point that you don't know what you're doing. Be it with Social Security or be it with gun laws now. Okay? I think, it could be a trap of some sort. Just don't get caught in it. That's kind of what the message is, in my humble terms. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know where any of this is going. But I do know, say you get stopped, or say, the biggest fear I have is driving down the street and some ass getting in an accident with me. The police are going to pull you out, and they're going to, if they see one of these items in your vehicle, okay, it could be an added legal issue. So something to be aware of and to watch out for. All right, thank you, and stay tuned.